Today, we're diving into one of the more puzzling and frankly eye-opening corrosion failures we've seen in recent years. At first glance, this was a standard pipeline, low pressure, steady-state operation, routine chemical injection. Everything about the setup looked solid, and that's what made the failure so surprising. See, when a gas line is operating with consistent flow and regular treatment, we expect the usual suspects: a bit of bottom-of-line corrosion from water settling, maybe some top-of-line pitting from condensation, but both are usually minor, expected even. That's exactly what the integrity models predicted, that under normal operation, the corrosion rate would be negligible, decades before any serious degradation. But then, through-wall failures started showing up. Not just minor anomalies. We're talking sharp-edged pitting, aggressive, localized damage, and all of it was showing up in a strange place, not at the bottom where stagnant water collects, and not at the top where condensation occurs, right at the water vapor interface. Now that's not where we normally find trouble, so we started eliminating the obvious. No signs of oxygen ingress from storage systems, no evidence of aggressive workovers or high-rate fracs, no methanol overinjection, all the usual causes off the table, which left us with something more subtle and more troubling. This pipeline had been receiving continuous corrosion inhibitor, amine-based, injected monthly. The goal? Maintain a protective film. But here's the catch. That strategy only works if the water and the inhibitor actually moves. In this case, production had declined. The water phase wasn't moving fast enough, and when the fluid stops moving, the chemistry starts changing. Over time, what was meant to protect the pipe began accumulating, pooling in low spots, concentrating, stripping carrier fluids, and what was left behind was no longer a corrosion inhibitor. It was raw chemical. And raw chemical in direct contact with steel? That's a recipe for pitting. What we likely had was a scenario where the very tool designed to safeguard integrity was creating conditions that actively degraded it. A form of unintended chemical corrosion, emerging right at the interface where trapped water met flowing gas. And if that sounds rare, here's the reality. It may be happening more often than we think, especially in pipelines with declining production, minimal pigging, and strategies that rely solely on continuous injection. So what's the takeaway? Sometimes your biggest threat isn't what's entering the pipe from the outside. It's what's building up quietly on the inside. And if your mitigation plan doesn't account for that, you might not just be missing the corrosion. You might be causing it. Thank you for listening.